the lengths he has gone to try and put a hit piece together. This reporter has been working on a story about me for 2 years. After 2 years of trying to get me to sit with him for an interview, he contacts LSU on Tuesday as we were getting ready for the first round game of this tournament with more than a dozen questions, demanding a response by Thursday, right before we're scheduled to tip off. Are you kidding me? This was a ridiculous deadline that LSU and I could not possibly meet, and the reporter knew it. It was just an attempt to prevent me from commenting and an attempt to distract us from this tournament. It ain't gonna work, buddy. Unfortunately, this is part of a pattern that goes back years. I told this reporter 2 years ago that I didn't appreciate the hit job he wrote on Brian Kelly, and that's why I wasn't going to do an interview with him. After that, the reporter called 2 former college coaches of mine and left multiple messages that he was with me in Baton Rouge to get them to call him back, trying to trick these coaches into believing that I was working with the Washington Post on a story. When my former coaches spoke to him and found out that I wasn't talking with the reporter, they were just distraught, and they felt completely misled. Former players have told me that the Washington Post has contacted them and offered to let them be anonymous in a story if they'll say negative things about me. The Washington Post has called former disgruntled players to get negative quotes to include in their story. They're ignoring the 40-plus years of positive stories that people or they have heard from people about me. But you see, reporters who give a megaphone to a one-sided, embellished version of things aren't trying to tell the truth. They're trying to sell newspapers and feed the click machine. This is exactly why people don't trust journalists and the media anymore. It's these kinds of sleazy tactics and hatchet jobs that people are just tired of. I'm fed up, and I'm not going to let the Washington Post attack this university, this awesome team of young women I have, or me without a fight. I've hired the best defamation law firm in the country, and I will sue the Washington Post if they publish a false story about me. Not many people are in a position to hold these kind of journalists accountable, but I am, and I'll do it. That's all I'm going to say about this right now. And now I'm going to get back to talking about my basketball team and winning this game tomorrow.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. As you all know, you've been here regularly. Coach Mulkey usually does not make opening statements, so that's all on that topic. If you have questions about LSU's game yesterday and the win over Rice, or the game tomorrow at 2 o'clock against Middle Tennessee, we will open up the floor to questions for Coach Mulkey. Please introduce yourself and your affiliation. And with that, we'll open up the floor.
Coach, Matthew Bernieth on 3. Obviously, Middle Tennessee's shooting and their guard play kind of got to Louisville late yesterday. Just what did you see in them, and how do you evaluate their guard play?
Well, before I answer your question, let me say exactly what I think about Middle Tennessee's program. Rick Insell is a Hall of Fame coach. Rick Insell, I don't know how many years he's been there, but I guarantee you he's been a part of this. I bet in the last 20 years, he's beaten at least 25 to 35 Power 5 teams. 17 of those have been out of the SEC. So it wasn't a surprise to me yesterday that they won. He's extremely good at what he does. His son's on his staff. He has one of my former All-Americans on his staff. Much, much respect to Coach Insell and his family. They have treated me good through the years. They have sat with me at my son's baseball game in Louisville when we were all working in the summer. I love the Insel family. Now, to answer your question, you know they're going to shoot the 3-ball. They all shoot the 3-ball. So you're going to have to be very respectful of the 3-ball, but they also have size. They win. They win. December's the last time they've ever lost a game. So they're very confident, they're very talented, they're very good. The stuff they run will be very difficult for us to defend.
Yeah, just what kind of progress have you guys made? Oh, Michael Cobble, WBRZ TV. What kind of progress have you guys made as far as defending the perimeter? And, obviously your defense has stepped up over the last couple of months, but is it where you want it to be?
Well, I don't think I'm ever satisfied. I think we're much improved. Each team we play is different. The scouting report defensively will be different. They get to the foul line a lot. They get to the foul line. They're pretty much up there in the country on free throw percentage. We know they're going to make threes. It doesn't matter how good we defend the three, they're going to make them. What we've got to do is we've got to do what we do best, and that's make them guard us too. I think transition is an area that maybe we can push it and run some. They don't have much depth. We've been talked about all year about not having much depth. They don't either. So hopefully it'll be a game that won't come down to people fouling out, and we just get out there and play.
Coach Sam Dowden, GoBlueRaiders.com. You mentioned Nina Davis, who's an assistant on Middle Tennessee staff, and someone I know that you advocated for being on Coach Insel's staff. How have you seen her grown since she's joined that staff, and as have you kept that relationship with her?
Absolutely. Nina comes to my house. Nina calls me. I love that child. We talk here about Anissa Morrow being an undersized post player and how good she is. Nina was that good for me at Baylor. Nina was like a ballerina in the paint. You couldn't block her shot. You couldn't block her out. She figured out ways to get her shot off. While it might not have been the most beautiful shot, you couldn't stop her. She and I just have this funny relationship. Y'all know the show 48 Hours? And so it either took place in New Orleans or it takes place in Memphis. So me being from Louisiana, her being from Memphis, we'd go to practice every day, and I said, "What's up, 48?" And it was an inside joke between the two of us. Nina is one of the few former players I have that got into coaching, and I love it. I wish more did. I have more managers that become college coaches than I do players. I don't know why that is, but I'm so grateful that Nina is in coaching, and what better person to learn from than the Insel family.
Chessa Boucher with NBC 33 here in Baton Rouge. Last night, we talked about Angel Reese not having the day that she wanted to have. She seems a bit fiery now. What do you expect to see from her tomorrow in round 2?
Well, I think she kept doing other things. When you're having an off night, you just don't shut down. And Angel didn't shut down. She had almost 20 rebounds. Do something when your shot's not falling or you just seem to be in a funk on the offensive end, and she did. But that game's over. It's survive and advance. But Angel has been in situations before when she didn't play well, and she's always responded. So she wasn't the only one that looked a little shaky yesterday, so tomorrow's a new day. Today is a new day.
Yeah, what did you see in that film? Anything that can help you going forward with the turnovers?
Oh, Lord, I didn't go back and watch that. Middle Tennessee's too good for me to worry about what happened yesterday. No, we're watching Middle Tennessee as soon as that game was over. We don't even talk about that game. Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't want to go back and look at that.
Just their bigs down low. How far has Aaliyah come as far as being able to, defend without fouling and stay in the game?
Well, she got the 2 fouls quickly yesterday. Aaliyah she's just gotten so much better. Her confidence is good, but what Aaliyah lacks, she can't control, and that's playing time, right? So the more playing time she gets as she gets older, the better she's going to get. So she's coming in, spotting Angel, spotting Morrow, and just look at how much she's improved in spot play versus when she really, really will get a lot of time in the future.
Bryce Coon, 24/7 Sports. You just kind of mentioned, we don't even look at what happened yesterday. Coaches talk all the time. This is truly survive and advance. What's the messaging of, hey, you want to play better, but we've got a really good opponent on Sunday. I mean, how do you balance that just within the short turnaround?
Well, you kind of don't talk about yesterday. You talk about Middle Tennessee because we've got to focus our energy today because we won't be on the floor tomorrow with a 2 o'clock game. We have to do everything today in the film room, everything on the floor. So you don't talk about what happened yesterday. You talk about what we have to do to be successful. And they're very attentive. It's kind of like you flush it.
Coach, Middle's a team that likes to use their sets a lot offensively. When you have so many different sets to go of in a short time frame, how do you sort of prioritize, planning around that?
I think we do the same thing. So that I noticed that in watching them. That's got to be an old school. Rick and Kim like to control who's going to get that shot and not just let them do what a lot of programs do now, and that's just freelance and whoever gets the best shot, take it. To me, that's good coaching. We're going to go over as many of them as we can. Obviously, through the course of the game, it'll be difficult, but I'm hoping it'll be difficult for them too because we're going to run a lot of sets.
We have time for one more if there is one for Coach.
Just a softball here. Is there anything you want people to know about your relationship with your players?
Huh?
In regards to your opening statement, is there
Oh,
anything,
no, I told you I wasn't going to talk about that again.
anything about your current relationship with your players?
You better ask them. I think they love me.
Coach,
Y'all
thank you
be
very
good.
much. Once again, LSU and Middle Tennessee tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Coach, you got that. You were up late, right? You heard the time? All right. 2 o'clock tomorrow here in Baton Rouge. We'll be back at 2:15. We'll have players from Middle Tennessee join us then.